Welcome, welcome, welcome to Fast Hacks for Microsoft for Productivity. So this class is all about just some quick things you can do to help you when you're using Microsoft to help you be a little bit more productive. So I'm very excited. I love this class. If you are not already on Twitter, I'm at Educator Alex. You can definitely follow me on Twitter. You can also sign up for the newsletter. I am recording this session, and it will only be available to those who receive the newsletter. So make sure that you sign up for the newsletter on my website, educatoralexander.com. And for people that are attending live, make sure that you sign in. That's the only way that you can get a certificate for credit. All right, let's get this party started. So I'm Desiree Alexander. I'm the Regional Director of North Louisiana for a nonprofit called APEL. I'm also the founder CEO of Educator Alexander Consulting. And I am certified in Microsoft as well as Google and other tools. So I love using different tools for different things. So it just depends on what the project is. I use Microsoft or I use Google. I think Paula said my volume went down. Did it happen for anybody else? Or is everybody okay hearing me? You can just put it in the chat box. Let me know if you are okay hearing me. Okay, perfect. Paula, I'm not sure. It may maybe turn your volume up on your computer or your phone. I'm not quite sure what may have happened for you. Okay, gotcha. She says she's having tech difficulties. And I do training all around the nation. So if you are ever interested in bringing me to your school or your district or an event that you're doing, you can definitely contact me. This is all of my contact information, as well as just if you have a question. If after this you're like, hey, how did she say to do Morph again in PowerPoint, or how did she say to do that thing in Excel? You can absolutely just email me and I will be happy to answer your question. There's also resources on my website and things like that. Okay, so we are about to hop in and get started. The Microsoft tools that I'm using are it's the 2016 downloaded Microsoft. So I'm not using the Office 365 online. I'm actually using the downloaded Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. So just keep that in mind. Of course, some of the online products have things that the downloaded ones don't. The downloaded have stuff that the online doesn't. So I am using the 2016. So if you're using anything before that, so if you're using like 2013, you may not have all the little buttons that I have. And the website on the screen, bit.ly/Microsoft Hacks, that will just give you the PowerPoint, the Excel document, and the Word document that I'm using to train. So if you have two screens, for example, and you want to work with me and test out some stuff, you'll have exactly what I have. Or you can do it later and practice. You'll have all the data I'm using and all that kind of stuff. So go ahead and jot that down or take a picture of it. If you're part of the newsletter, you'll get this video, so you'll be able to practice with me. All right, and we're going to do this at the end, but I like to say it at the beginning just in case we have people that have to leave early, that if you can, the only thing I ask for these free classes is that you do an evaluation on my website. And all that is to place a comment. You can do a video comment, you can do a written comment, but you just go to educatoralexander.com/comments and put a comment. You can also do the QR code, and I'll come back to this at the end as well. So we are going to stop this PowerPoint, and we are going to hop in to Excel. So I asked you the question in the beginning of which one do you definitely want to get to, and it was kind of split. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Excel, And I want to make sure that we get to some PowerPoint and some words. I'm just going to make sure and look at the time and make sure we get to all of them. We may not get through every tip I have for all of them, but we'll get to all of them. And that way, everybody would get something that they want. So you should be able to hear me, and you should be able to see an Excel training data sheet. So if you're working with me, we're going to start on the Excel training data sheet. Why don't someone in the chat let me know if you can see the Excel training data sheet? All right, Alexandra sees it. I know Paula knows how to get to the chat. Hopefully everyone knows how to get to the chat. If you don't, hop on your mic and let me know. That's how you can ask questions, because I'll see it pop up and I can answer your questions in real time. Woo, let's get to some tips. Okay, let's see. I have something in the chat. Okay, perfect. So let's get to some tips. So the first tip I want to show you for Excel is called quick analysis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of my data. So I'm going to come here to A1, and I'm just going to drag down and highlight just the data. This is not one where you want to highlight the whole sheet. Okay, so I highlight just the data. And if I come down here to this little, I like to call it a little ink blot. You see this little box that pops up? That's called quick analysis. So you can actually click that, and you can get a quick analysis of your data, which is pretty cool. So if I want to see the top 10, I can do that. If I wanted a chart or a graph, so I'm going to go to charts, and let's see, I'm going to get a clustered chart. So look at that. That's a summary of account by item. I can do a cluster. I can do totals. Notice it gives me my totals at the end. If you saw this right here pop up, averages, totals, all kind of cool stuff that I can just get, you know, just by clicking my fingers pretty much. So really cool thing that you can do. So if I wanted this cluster, notice it brought it to another sheet. It has sheet 4 right here. It has the information on here. It also put it right here. And then I can come over here and I can click, you know what, add rep to that. So now I have the representative, sum count by representative. But just look how easy it is to do this. I don't really have to, you know how to do charts and graphs all that much. I can just come here and use the quick analysis. Woohoo! Next, I'm going to show you how to sort and filter. So sort and filter are one of those things that I see a lot of people either doing incorrectly, or they just don't know how to do it to just get to the information they actually want to see at that time. So to sort and filter, I'm actually going to highlight the entire sheet. To do that, I can just come and click on this little button right here. See how I highlighted the entire sheet? So now I am going to go to data, and I'm going to go to filter. When I do that, notice it puts these little boxes with arrows down here. So nothing is filtered right now. It's just telling me that I'm ready to filter. If I come back to home, sometimes you have sort and filter right here under editing as well. So you can click that and click filter as well. So now what I want to do is filter this list so I can only see what I want to see. So that's what filtering does. It takes away all the information except for the information that you want. So well, you know what? For region, I only want to see the central region. So notice I went to region and I clicked the little box. And I'm going to select all. So that's going to empty out all the boxes. And I'm going to say I only want to see central and hit OK. Notice all the other information is now gone. The only thing I'm seeing is the central region. I know that this is filtered because notice this filter is blackened out. So I know that this is filtered. Then I can come here and do the same thing with everything. I just want to see these two. There you go. I can say for count, I only want to see 50 and up. So notice I just went to 50 and then I just checked all of them. So now I'm only seeing the information that I want to see. This is a really cool way especially if we're working in schools, of course, this is a really cool way to see grades and things like that. I'm going to come here and unfilter them. So I'm just going to hit select all and OK. If you have any questions about something, remember, put it in the chat. So the next thing I'm going to do is sort. So filtering is just seeing what you want to see. Sort is when you put the list in the order that you want to have it in. So I'm going to come here and highlight this whole thing again. If I want to turn off filter, I can. You can always leave filter on if you want to. You'll just leave those little boxes up here. But I went ahead and turned it off. So again, you can come here to custom sort or on data. This is a custom sort. So either way, I like to show you the different ways you can get here. So what I want to do is I want to sort by region. And I want it to go from A to Z. So region in alphabetical order. But you know what? I also want to sort by representative. So once the central region is together, I also want it to be in alphabetical order by rep. So I'm going to add a level and say, then do it by representative A to Z. You also have Z to A. If you're dealing with numbers, A to Z means 1 to 10. And then Z to A means 10 to 1. So they don't show the numbers on here, but that's what it means. So let's see. Ta-da! I have my regions together. And in the region, I have these sorted by alphabetical order. So that's what sort is. You can sort and filter as much as you want to get that list to look exactly how you want it to look. So that's sort and filter. The next thing I want to show you is column size. So sometimes we have stuff and the column sizes are just way too big, right? Especially if you want to print, you're like, I just want these column sizes to be smaller. Like these with the numbers, there's a lot of spacing here I don't need. So what do we usually do? We usually come here and we start making them bigger or smaller, that kind of thing, right? But we don't have to do that. The trick to this is double clicking. So if you come to this little middle section, you can double click on it and it will change the size for you. So for example, if I come to this one and double click, ta-da, it did it for me. Double click, ta-da, it did it for me. I can keep doing that, ta-da, or I'm going to go back. Or what I can do is I can highlight the whole thing and then just double click any of them. And it does it for my whole list. So look at all the space that I'm saving. Awesome. The next thing I want to show you are checkboxes. So you can put checkboxes in your Google form. Nope, sorry, switch gears there. In your Microsoft Excel, I think I said form, that had nothing to do with Excel, but your Microsoft Excel. But what you'll do is you'll have to get this developer tab. So if you open up your Excel and you don't see the developer tab, that means you need to get it. So, Desiree, how do I get it? I am going to come to File, Options, I'm not seeing options. And then I am going to come to customize ribbon. This is how you can actually add different things up here to your ribbon bar. So I want to find developer. So I would just search for that. Let's say, because my developer is already over here because I already have it. There you go. But if I wanted to add something, I could just come here, add, and then it'll be over here. And that's all I would have to do. So find developer on this side, click add, and then click OK. You'll now have the developer tab up here. Now the developer tab has a whole bunch of stuff for like IT type of people and people that know how to kind of go in this and do other things. I am simply going to show you the checkboxes. So there's other things you can do, so you can definitely play around with it. But I'm going to come to Insert and hit Checkboxes. So when you're ready for your checkbox, notice that my mouse is now a plus sign. So I could just kind of come here and click, and that's my checkbox. I can move this to wherever I want to move it to. Perfect. And then I can click in it and change the words. I'm actually going to drag this out so it can look well. And there you go. So now I have a checkbox that people can actually check. And this is really nice when you're doing a Microsoft Excel for anything like we're going in to do observations or anything like that. They can actually just click, or maybe I did a test and I have all the scores and I want to just come here and click yes to say that yes, they passed. I don't have to talk to them or anything like that. So I can come here, go, click, move it where I want to move it. Notice how this one is already longer because I made this one longer. Click in it, change the words to whatever I want to, and now I have another checkbox. So there you go. That is how you add checkboxes to your Excel. Next I want to show you about text wrapping. So a lot of times when we're using Excel, well, not a lot, but sometimes when we're using Excel, especially when we're using it with other people and other people are putting data in the Excel spreadsheet as well, we'll have it to where they're typing stuff in the cell and they don't quite know how to make the cell longer, or I don't want to make it this long. Look, that sentence is still not over, right? So I don't want to make it that long. If I double click, it'll bring it out. But I don't want that cell to be that long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what's called text wrapping. I'm going to go back to the Home tab. I'm going to click or highlight these cells. I actually just want this cell, so I'm going to highlight that cell. And I'm going to go to Wrap Text. So I'm on the Home button, the Home tab, Wrap Text. So when I do that, notice it wrapped the text to where wherever I'm typing goes down. So I can actually bring this out just a little bit if I want to. So now I can actually read it on the screen and I don't have to hover over it to read it or anything like that. So that's a nice little tip, is to wrap text. Next, I want to show you this cool little tip. So if you have a whole bunch of, let's say, email addresses or anything like that, where it forms a pattern. Now, the only way this is going to work is if it forms a pattern. So you notice it's first name dot last name. It doesn't matter what the at and all that is, but it's first name dot last name. So it forms a pattern. So I have this list and I'm like, oh no, I don't have the teachers' names. I need the teachers' names in a box. So I'm going to come here to B and I'm going to write this person's name is obviously Desiree Alexander. This person's name is obviously Eddie Smith. Notice what happened when I got to the second one. Microsoft is like, hey, I think she's taking all of these and making a pattern with them. So at this point, I can just hit enter and look what it did for me. I'm going to double click that and double click this. Ta-da, I'm done. I love these kind of tips because it just makes you be a little bit more productive and you don't have to do all this yourself. I'm going to go back to sheet 1 if you're following along with me. And the next thing I want to show you is how to autofill, the different patterns you can do. So actually, I'm going to go back to sheet 3. So this was one of the patterns. You have these patterns. There you go. Another thing I want to show you is if I have to put the same number right in each one, and I do not feel like doing this. This is so mundane. What I can do is I can just do 1, 1, and then again, you see this little thing. It looks like a little plus sign once I go to the ink blot. If I pull this down, it's going to do it for me. Another thing it will do with patterns is 1, 2, 3. Oh, I don't want to do this. But I can come here and highlight 1, 2, 3, go to this little ink blot, pull it down. Ta-da! Now I have my numbered list and I don't have to do this myself. So you can do this anytime you're doing patterns. So if I'm doing dates, like let's say I said 9/1/19, 9/2/19. Oh, that's not a 2. Uh-oh. 2/19. I can come here and highlight this. Ta-da. So anytime you're dealing with patterns, you can type a couple of them, highlight, and then use your little, I like to call it an ink blot. I'm sure it has a real name. You can use that to do it. So there you go. One last tip. If you have data, let's say from Microsoft Word, and they typed it like this. Desiree Alexander is from Sunnyvale, and she made an A. And they send it to you in Microsoft Word. And you're like, why did you not just do this in an Excel spreadsheet? What you can do is you can copy all of this stuff. I'm just doing one for an example. You can copy it all and put it in one cell in Excel. And then what you're going to do is called text to column. So what you're going to do is you're going to highlight it and go to data, text to columns. I'm going to leave this on fixed. Look what it's doing for me. I'm so excited. Next. Yep, this is perfect. Now, if you needed to change any of this, you can. But I'm just going to hit finish, and it put it in columns for me. So that's a really neat trick because people are always using Word for stuff that they should be using Excel for. So you can highlight all that stuff, bring it into Excel, click on data, text to columns, and you don't have to worry about all that. So what we're going to do at this point, we do have a couple of more Excel tips, but that's okay. We're going to hop on over to PowerPoint so we can make sure we get some tips for all of them. Good old PowerPoint. I'm sure some of you are rolling your eyes like, oh, PowerPoint. But guess what? I'm going to show you some cool things you can do in PowerPoint that may make it easier for you to use and make it better for the people watching it, right? Because goodness gracious, when that PowerPoint comes up, you're like, oh, no. So let's go through it. So one thing you can do is called design. So I have some words and a picture right here. I'm going to go to design. And if I need to give you a second to pull up the PowerPoint, please let me know. I'm just kind of speeding full speed ahead here. And if you have questions, remember to put it in the chat. My people that joined us a little late, you do have a sign-in. I will give you that at the end, so don't leave until you sign in. That way you get your certificate. Okay, so I'm going to go to design. And I'm going to go to design ideas. Sometimes it gives you ideas and sometimes it says, no, I don't have any yet. One of the tricks to this is if it doesn't have any, if you come up here and put a theme to it, a lot of times it'll suddenly come up with different designs. I love the design ideas because it's always giving me different ways to do a slide that I didn't think of or may not be able to do myself very quickly, right? So if I come here, let's see, ooh, I like it, right? Ooh, look at this one. So if I want these design ideas, I can just click on it and now I look like I'm like super duper awesome at designing, which I'm not, but I can act like I am. So that's design ideas. I'm gonna go back. So another thing I wanna show you with PowerPoint is you can actually, and I think we have a question in chat, I'm gonna get to it in a second. Well, let me get to it now. Oh, haha. All right, so it was just a comment. So what we're going to do is copy. So what do we do if I want to copy this picture? I'm going to click on it. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to hit copy. Or I'm going to click on it and hit Control C for copy, right? Then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to right click. I'm going to paste it. Or I'm going to hit Control V. You don't have to do it anymore. What you say? I know. Click on it, hit the Control key on your keyboard and drag it. I don't need any more design like this. Thank you. I now have a copy. You can do the same thing with this. Click on it, hit the control key, and drag it. What? I know, mind blown. So that's quick ways that you can do to use, and I got out of this, okay. To copy stuff. Now let me show you the morph feature. So I have this little man right here, but I actually want him to run towards his future. So if I want to have him run, I am going to make a copy of this slide. So I just right click and hit duplicate slide. And I'm going to click him and go to transitions. I have a morph transition. Now, if you're using, like I said, if you're using before 2016 PowerPoint, you probably are not going to have that morph transition. So I can hit morph. Stop it. I can hit morph and then tell him what I want him to do. So where do I want him to end up? I want him to end up over here. Let's see how that looks. That's the first slide. I'm going to click for the second slide. What? He morphed to the other side of the screen. First slide, second slide. Let's end this. So how do you do morphing? I'm going to go back, back, and back. So how do I morph? The first slide is done. I'm going to duplicate the slide. I'm going to move whatever I want to morph. Well, let me put morph first. And then I'm going to move him wherever I want him to be. And that's it. I'm going to morph these words. Maybe I want them to come down, whatever. So let's start. All right, I have that slide, and then I'm morphing. That's how easy it is, guys. It looks really good when you want to do something like this. And then we're going to move on. So I have him. I'm going to duplicate the slide. And then let's say I'm going to make him bigger. Okay. Or I want you to, I don't know, see the words bigger or something like that. So it's really good for zooming into something. Oh, I don't think I hit morph, did I? You have to morph him. Excuse me. So notice how I'm zooming in. So it's really good for zooming in. And it looks really, really professional. So that's morphing. Next thing I want to show you is a tip when you have lists. So of course this list is only 3. It's not that big of a list. But if I had a longer list and I put this at the bottom, but I actually wanted this to be at the top, what do I have to do? I have to right click, cut it, and then go paste it at the top. You don't have to do that. All I have to do is highlight it, hit on my keyboard. I'm going to hit Alt and Shift. When I do that, look at that. I can just hit the arrow keys and it's all together. I don't have to worry about it. So this is how you can reorder your list in a very quick way. Highlight the words, hit Alt and Shift on your keyboard, and then just use your arrow keys. What? I know. Next, I want to show you Eyedropper. I'm going to go back up here. So what Eyedropper does, well, let's go here. What Eyedropper does is it allows you to take any color and change your words to those colors, to that color. So let's say I want these words to be this pink. That's really hard to do without Eyedropper. So I'm going to come here like I want to change my font color, and I have Eyedropper down here. I'm going to click it. And notice I can go so small. It doesn't matter. I can get like the white in her eyeball. I can get her lipstick color, whatever, right? So I want it to be this pink, the darker pink at the bottom. I'm just going to click it. Done. Now my PowerPoints can actually look visually pleasing because everything is the same color and it's not 50 colors on each slide, right? Next, I want to show you ink equation. So I'm going to come here to insert. I'm going to go to symbols. And I know I'm going pretty quickly, so if you need me to stop and say something over, please let me know. But if you receive my newsletter, this is going to be in my newsletter when it comes out next week. The video will. So I'm going to go to symbols, equation, but I'm going to go to ink equation. Let me show you how awesome this is. So now I can write my equation. So let's say 1 plus 1 equals X. If this looks good, I can insert it. What? And now I have my equation. Let's do that again. And you can make this, you can actually edit it right here, or you can make it bigger by, of course, just like you make words bigger. Same thing. Let's do that again. Insert symbols, equation, ink equation. So I'm going to say 1/2 times 3/4. And this will probably be better with like a stylus, but I'm using my mouse, so I'm a little slow. Equals 2, insert. Awesome, easy ways to insert equations into your PowerPoint. What? I know. Next, I'm going to show you how you can make your charts pop and work with you. So instead of just showing this chart, like, guys, this is what we did this quarter, we're awesome, I can actually make these animated and come up when I want them to come up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the chart, and I'm going to go to animations, not transitions. A lot of people get that wrong. I'm going to come to animations, and I'm going to say, what do I want my chart to do? So I'm going to say I want it to float in. I don't want the whole chart to float in. So I'm going to go to Effect Options. I can have it float in by category. I like that. I actually want to go a little bit deeper, and I want it to float in by series. Let's see how that looks when I'm presenting. So I'm like, hey guys, so for our category 1, look at our series 1, but look at category 2. Oh no, look at category 3. So I can actually do this while I'm presenting, so that way they're not looking at the whole chart the whole time. They don't know what I'm concentrating on. And of course, they can read the whole chart in 2 seconds, and now they're bored by what you're saying. So you can come here, highlight the chart, animations, click on an animation, effect options, and get your chart to do what you want it to do. What? I know. Next thing I want to show you is how to hide, and then we're going to go to Word in a second. So if I have this slide, but I actually don't want to see it, I want to see it, right? Because I may want to use it for a different presentation, but I don't want other people to see it when I'm presenting today. So what I can do for this is I can right-click and hit Hide Slide. Notice I still see the slides. I can still edit the slide. But when I'm presenting, it just skipped that slide. That slide is nowhere to be seen, because it was supposed to be right after the big growing guy. So that's how you can hide a slide. You don't have to create 50 different PowerPoints. Like I have a PowerPoint for Monday, but Monday can't see these 2 slides. So I have a different PowerPoint for Tuesday. No, make one PowerPoint and then just hide the slides you don't want them to see. Next, I'm going to show you how to use Translator. Guys, this is like the end-all, be-all. This is amazing. So to use Microsoft Translator, first of all, I do suggest you go to translate.it. So just on your regular website. I can't spell. Go to translate.it, download Translator. You can download it from Microsoft. You can get the app. The app is so amazing, guys. I'm not going to get into it, but it's so amazing. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. But you can come here and you can download it for for Windows. You have to do this before you see the translator part. Okay, so make sure that you have to go to translate.it, and then you'll see what I'm about to show you. So what in the world am I doing? Okay, I forgot what I was doing for a second. Okay, so go to translate.it, download it. Once you do that, you're going to see this called caption and subtitles. If you click on it now, your PowerPoint, you're not going to see this until you go download it from translate.it. All right, so what I can do with this is I can hit always use subtitles. I can tell it what language I'm speaking in and what language I want it to do subtitles in. So I'm going to put both for English right now. Then when I present, it's going to be listening to me, and it's actually going to be typing out what I say. So now people that are watching can, just in case they're like, I can't really hear you, or, you know, maybe I have hearing problems. Now I can actually see what you're saying. I'm going to stop this in the show. And now I'm going to tell the subtitles to write in, I don't know, let's say Spanish. So now when I present, I'm talking in English, but it's actually going to be doing my subtitles in Spanish. Look how awesome this is. So if you have students from other countries, you can use this, and then they can understand you a little bit better because you want to teach them English, but you also want them to feel comfortable and understand what you're saying. Now, on the app, I'm not going to get into the app because I swear we'll spend our whole rest of the time on the app. On the app, if you have your students download the app to their devices, what they can do is they can download the app, they can say what language they want to use. And honestly, as long as that app can hear you, like as long as it's on their phone or iPad or whatever, can hear you speak, you can be saying exactly what I'm saying right now. And I have Eddie that's hearing it in Danish. I have Michael that's hearing it in Spanish. It's amazing, guys. Everybody can get exactly what they need. And there's also a chat feature where if they type out a message to me in Danish, I'll see it in English and Eddie will see it in Spanish. I mean, it's crazy. So definitely check that out. And I think I saw a comment. And then we're going to get to Word because I don't want to leave Word out. Yes, I know. Wow. Okay. And then somebody else says something gave them life. I love it. Okay. I love y'all. All right. I'm going to quickly show you two more things and then we'll get to Word, I promise. So one is recording. So to get the recording tab up here, you have to go to File, Options, Customize Ribbon, just like we did in the last one, and you want to click the check mark on recording. If I'm not mistaken, recording will be already over here. You just have to click it and then hit OK. If it's not, find recording over here, like that, click Add, and then click OK. But I think it's already over here. Just click OK. So your recording tab allows you to record your PowerPoint as a video. So how cool would that be if you're presenting to your students and you can record it and put it through Google Classroom or something like that. So I'm going to come here to record, show. You can do it like from the beginning or current slide, whatever. So notice this little thing at the bottom. This is actually where your picture would be. If you don't want that, you can turn it off. You can also have your picture here. So I'm going to hit record. And now I am recording. It is picking up everything that I'm doing. I can actually come here and do a marker and do that. I can go to the next slide and do that. I can go to the next. Notice my animations are still working. Awesome. I'm done. I'm going to hit stop. I can replay it right now if I want to, but I'm just going to come here and click the X, and I'm going to say export this as a video. I'm going to just put it on my desktop. And notice it says it's creating the video. So once it's done, we're going to go watch that video, and now I have a video that I can use of me teaching. What? I know. And the last thing, you know what, I'm just going to stop right there because if I show you the last thing, we're going to take all the time. So I'm going to let this video create, and we're going to hop on over to Word. Hello, Word. Okay, So a couple of things I want to show you on Word that again this is all about productivity, just to make your life a little bit quicker. So the first thing I want to show you is speech, or speak is what Word calls it. So if you go to do speak, you have to add a command. So if you don't have the little command, you can come up here and use the little arrow. Go to more commands. Now, the thing that people forget with this one is you have to come up here. Notice how it's on popular commands. You have to click all commands. That's the only way you're going to see everything. Go ahead and find the word speak over here. Add it, and then you'll have it. And notice the little icon for speak. Well, so what speak allows you to do is have it, the word spoken to you. So if I need to do this and I just don't feel like reading it, I can do this.
This tournament goes to 11-2007. This packet has gone to the dogs. Theme packet. Written by.
Now you don't have to read all those student essays. You can actually have it read to you. Another thing you can do is dictate. So this is not new, but kind of new for Microsoft. So I can come here. I'm going to tell it that I'm going to be dictating in English. Hello. Hello, exclamation point. I am Desiree, period. Oh, and it spells my name right. That is so awesome. So now instead of typing all of this stuff, you can actually just dictate it and it will type it for you in Word, period. New line. New line. And now I just double spaced and I'm going to continue. So that's a cool feature too. Again, this is all about productivity. I'm going to turn it off. So that's a cool feature to help you be more productive. Next. So the next thing I want to show you is called Smart Lookup. So if I don't know a word in here, I'm reading it and I'm like, what in the world is that? If I highlight the word, I can right click on it and go to Smart Lookup. What this does is it gives you the definition of it. I can hear it. And I have images and a Bing search. So of course, Microsoft is Bing. So I can do a Bing search. I can actually click this and it'll bring me to that website. So pretty cool. So you can do all that without even leaving Word. Another thing I want to show you that I kind of wish more people knew, so spread this, is the share button. If you're using Outlook with, with your Microsoft documents and things like that, you can use the share button up here. I am not 100% if it works with, like, let's say Gmail, but you can always try it out. So I want to send this to my boss. So what do? I save it. I go open up Outlook. I create an email, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to do that. You can do that right from here. Click share. I want to send it as, let's say, a PDF. I can also send it as a Word document, but I want to send it as a PDF. It's going to open this for me. It already has it on here. All I have to do is do the email addresses and send. How awesome is this? It just saves you so much time. Yay! The next thing I'm going to show you is how you can create random words. So I've had teachers use this. Excuse me. I've had teachers use this because they were, they told the students to open up a Word document and they want to show them maybe even some cool stuff like I'm showing you, but they need some words. So they'll say, well, type out a paragraph and then we'll play with the paragraph. Well, instead of doing that, you can put equal sign, R-A-N-D, like random, parenthesis, closing parenthesis, and then hit enter. So equal sign, R-A-N-D, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, enter, And it gives you a paragraph here. So now we can play with, you know, how to indent and where paragraphs need to separate and all that kind of stuff. So now I can teach them some stuff and we don't have to waste time typing a random paragraph so we can use. I know. Next, I want to show you the triple click. So if I want to highlight this whole line, or yeah, there you go. I can triple click it. So instead of, you know, like coming here and doing this, which I mean only takes a couple more seconds, but if I triple click, it all highlights. Triple click is your best friend. I click twice, triple click. So triple click can be your best friend just to save you time. So keep that in mind. View. Under view, you have something called immersive. Definitely play around with these learning tools. They help your students. So if I go to, I think I clicked that kind of fast. Let me get out of here. View, I clicked on learning tools. So this can help your students that have the different type of eye issues and things like that. It can help with line spacing. So if that's too much, it can do that and kind of separate those words for them. It can do line focus. So let's say I only want to concentrate on one line at a time. So as this, I can move it as the student. So now I'm only seeing what I actually want to see. If I need it a little bit bigger, I can do it that way. So I can focus on whatever I need to focus on. You can change, I'm going to turn that off. You can change the page color. So, you know, some students need that black in the background. So all of this is here for you. You have the read aloud in here without using speak.
Delaware, Bill Tressler.
So you have a bunch of stuff in here that you can use for your students. So definitely keep that in mind for your immersive learning tools. And that was view under immersive learning tools. We may have to kind of stop here for a second. Let's go back to PowerPoint just because of the time. Nope, not that one. Let's go back to PowerPoint. Okay, so it looks like our video. Remember we had a video. Let's see our video on our desktop. Recording is picking up everything that I'm doing. I can actually come here and do a marker and do that. I can go to the next slide and do that. Awesome. All right. Okay. Enough. All right. So there you go. So you can create a video and now I can do whatever I want to with that video. One more thing I want to show you in Word. And then I am going to stop, I promise. You can do your evaluation and sign in and do all that stuff that we need to, all the housekeeping stuff, is how to set your defaults. I see so many people where they'll come and start typing and then they have to change the font and all that kind of stuff. So if you come here to font and click this little arrow down here, you can come here and say, what do you want the default to be? That means every time you open up a Word document, what do you want it to be? So I want the font color to be black. Do you want it to be underlined every time? Like all this kind of stuff. What do you want the size of your font to be? Whatever. So when you get your setup, like I don't want it to be bold. I actually want to change that to regular. I'm going to come here to set as default and say, I want this to be the default for everything I do. And now every time I open it up, it will. You can also do the same thing for paragraph. Do you want it to be single space? Do you want it to be double space every time you open it up? And then you just hit set as default and choose that. So that's a very quick, being very productive thing to do. So some of the other things I want to show you was to insert a signature line, to use the search or tell me, all kind of other little things you can do. And this is your search up here. All kind of other things you can do with Word. I think I should stop. I really don't want to. This should be a 2-hour one. But there's all kind of other little stuff you can do that makes it really, really cool. Let's see. Yeah, I'll go ahead and stop because then there's some of the stuff I want to show you. All right. So we'll stop right here, guys. Hopefully you got something from it. Hopefully you learned something new with either Excel or PowerPoint or Word or all three. But these are really cool things just to make it a little bit easier for you when you are using these things.